Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today's video will be breaking down the newly released trailer for X-Men 97 Season 2, releasing later this year on July 1st. After the first season dropped, it was nothing truly short of amazing, astonishing even. Even in its animated form, this show hit on all cylinders and was able to walk the fine line between nostalgia while also delivering on good themes, characters, and storytelling. Without further ado, let's get into this trailer breakdown. We first open this trailer with Rogue reminiscing about Gambit and how when she returns to the present, he won't be on the other side to see her. As in the previous season of X-Men 97, during the attack on Genosha, Gambit sacrificed himself to destroy the massive Sentinel. We then get the Marvel animation title card as it shows footage from Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, What If, and X-Men 97 Season 1. We then get narration from Bishop talking about how the X-Men are scattered across time during different points of Apocalypse's rise to power. We saw this at the end of last season because of the reactor core's explosion on Asteroid M that the X-Men had all been caught in. One half of the team were displaced in ancient Egypt with Professor X, Magneto, Rogue, Nightcrawler, and Beast as they encounter En-Sabanur before he became Apocalypse. In the distant future, Cyclops and Jean are stuck in a post-apocalyptic future where Apocalypse has fully ruled over the world, and we see the two of them being met by the clan leader of this mysterious group known as Mother Ascani, who is actually Rachel Summers, Scott and Jean's daughter, and we even see during this moment that they meet a young Cable in this time as well. It is also confirmed by promotional art and by ex-showrunner Bo DeMayo that Storm, Morph, and Wolverine will also be with Scott and Jean in this dystopian timeline. And then during this shot in the trailer, we see a pharaoh overlooking ancient Egypt with a holographic display in front of him. He wears a green helmet and a purple cape. This makes me strongly believe that we are seeing a version of Kang the Conqueror this season, more specifically Pharaoh Rama Tut, who traveled back in time to rule over ancient Egypt. With this season of X-Men 97 playing with time travel and Kang being a villain tied to the multiverse and time travel especially, I wouldn't be surprised if Kang in this season had a hand in time displacing our X-Men. We then get narration and the reintroduction to this season's through-line villain, which is that of Apocalypse, who talks about striking the X-Men at their most vulnerable in their present timeline. We also get the character of Polaris being brought into the fold of this season as we see her looking at photos with her and some of the X-Men, which include characters like Iceman and Angel. Polaris was teased during the finale of Season 1 when Charles was inside Magneto's mind and he saw a ship of people that was close to him. You could see the shadowed figures of Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, and Polaris. And Polaris in Marvel Comics, the daughter of Magneto as well. Her powers are similar to that of Magneto, which involves magnetic, electrical, and gravitational abilities. Polaris appeared in X-Men issue 49, and even in the photos we see of the first class of mutants, specifically Angel and Beast, their costumes are pulled directly from that comic. We then see Morph and Wolverine together in a helicopter. They are both wearing the same costumes as they did last season, with Logan sporting the brown and yellow costume from Uncanny X-Men issue 139, and Morph having a more darker bodysuit while still retaining the yellow padding. There was also a leaked trailer for X-Men 97 Season 2 a couple weeks back that shows Morph, Sabretooth, and Lady Deathstrike in some sort of laboratory where there was various disk drives on various test subjects / experiments, clearly indicating that this season will be exploring the Weapons Plus program, which Wolverine is a part of, as he is known as Weapon X, aka Weapon 10. Some of the names on these discs include the likes of Phantom X, Ajax, Winter Soldier, and even Weapon 6, known as Project Power, which is that of Luke Cage. We then see Jean and Scott perform a team-up where she uses her telekinesis to create a projection of Wolverine's claws to help Cyclops' optic blasts ricochet. One thing to note is that we see these two sporting different X-Men attire, specifically from the new X-Men run of comics during the early 2000s, written by Grant Morrison and art by Frank Quietly, where the X-Men roster of this comic sported black and yellow attire with matching jackets. Even in the leaked promotional material and in some of the shots of the trailer, we see here we see the rest of the X-Men also sporting the same outfits as well. This new X-Men comic is where the infamous Genosha massacre and even Emma Frost's secondary mutation of her diamond form come from, which was adapted in last season. We then get a shot of Sunspot and Jubilee sporting new costumes, with Sunspot's costume coming from X-Force issue 19, and Jubilee's costume has a full body black suit with a traditional yellow jacket and purple glasses. I initially thought that this costume was from Wolverine and Jubilee issue 1. However, on the Real Rejects reaction to this trailer, Toy Genre pointed out that Jubilee is wearing her Generation X outfit. We then get shots of Bishop and Nightcrawler, and we even see the return of Forge alongside Bishop, a shot of young Nathan Summers / Nate Gray using his metal arm to unlock this device of some sort. We see in this wide shot that Storm and Mother Ascani are present for this moment. We then get a quick montage of Cable looking over a battle of some sort, followed by a shot of Storm. We even see what appears to be Colossus in the destruction of Genosha as he mourns over the body of his sister Ilyana Rasputin, aka Magic. We see this new iteration of Sentinels descending down this tower, which has the name X-Corp, followed by a shot of the character Exodus, who briefly showed up during the Genosha episode from last season. Exodus in Marvel Comics is described as a near omnipotent mutant with powerful psionic abilities. He appeared in X-Factor issue 92, and his origins follows as Bene Dupari was a Frenchman in the 12th century who then went to Egypt to find the lost pharaoh, which is where he came into contact with Apocalypse, giving him his abilities and naming him Exodus. Exodus is a foe to the X-Men, and seeing him here makes me believe he may have a secondary antagonistic kind of role akin to Mr. Sinister from last season, and especially with the fact that his origins tied to Apocalypse, it feels like a no-brainer. We get this brief shot of this female-like robot who is known as Danger. The character debuted in Astonishing X-Men Volume 3, Issue 9. This character is the programming of the Danger Room itself, which gained its own consciousness and created a sentient robotic form. The character of Danger is also showing up in the upcoming Marvel fighting game, Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. We then see a young Nate bonding with Scott and Jean, followed by what appears to be a memorial site of the victims that had been killed in the Genosha attack, as Rogue and Nightcrawler are led by Colossus. You can spot photos of Madeline Pryor, Magic, Gambit, and even Sebastian Shaw at this memorial site as well. We then see Xavier flying through this space that has a lot of floating pyramids, and we get to see hieroglyphics depicting Apocalypse's story, but we also see some of the time-displaced X-Men that are stuck in the past that are also a part of this story as well. We get this shot of a dinosaur, specifically a T-Rex, which could maybe be hinting at the Savage Lands from Marvel Comics. We briefly see Storm in her giant-sized X-Men outfit, and we get a shot of Morph turning into Deadpool as he appears to be fighting an alien, which may be the alien race known as the Brood. We also get a shot of Psylocke and Archangel, who are being brought into the fold of this season as well, as they were previously teased as characters Morph would transform into during battle. These two appear to be behind the X-Corp building that we see earlier during the trailer. We then get a shot of Rogue approaching this mysterious device that is radiating purple energy, and this device / outside structure is in the form of Apocalypse's face. You can even see Nightcrawler and Beast in the background. We get a quick close-up montage of characters like Professor X, Polaris, Beast, Magneto, who has a more worn out look to him and has a grown out beard, and we get a brief shot and return of Emma Frost, and we get shots of Storm, Scott, and Jean. In this shot of Polaris using her powers, you can see characters like Kid Omega, who's also known as Quentin Quire, who is known to be one of many powerful telepaths and Omega level mutants. There's also a character in the background known as Monet St. Croix, who's in her penance form, which is why she looks all red, and her penance form is considered as a red diamond skin, and it is immune to telepathy, and she also has sharp claws. We also see the mutant known as Sync, whose name is Everett Thomas, whose mutant ability allows for him to be able to replicate the powers of those in his vicinity. We even see a character in this shot with a flame around him. He's known as Chamber, who after an incident involving his psionic powers tearing a hole from his bottom mouth to his navel, he now acts as a sort of chamber for his biokinetic flame that surrounds him, and he even possesses telepathy as well. We also briefly see Bishop in this shot as well. With a lot of younger mutants showing up in this season, the show could be adapting Generation X that comprised of characters like Jubilee, Chamber, Sync, and Monet St. Croix. After this, we see Archangel using the shards of his wings as projectiles, and we see Nightcrawler sword fighting with Exodus, and as the trailer crescendos, we get a team shot of the X-Men followed by the title card, and we get a quick moment of Wolverine recreating the iconic pose of issue 1 of Wolverine from 1982 by Frank Miller and Chris Claremont. This trailer is nothing but emotionally riveting. Everything I loved about the first season of X-Men 97 feels like it's present in this trailer. As I previously stated, the characters, story, dialogue, and even music all come together in creating and anticipating an exciting follow-up to one of the best seasons of animated television. X-Men 97 Season 1 made me fall in love with the characters and mythos like never before, making me come to understand and deeply appreciate the richness of this facet of the Marvel universe. The fact that this season is doing all this while also adding in new chess pieces, as well as we are seeing characters both old and new being brought into the fold of this season's narrative, is interesting, especially with the through line of this season's villain appearing to be Apocalypse. Seeing how this season will touch upon loose ends is most certainly going to be interesting. With Rogue talking about how she won't have Gambit on the other side, makes me believe she will get what she wished for, but it may not be the man she loved that comes back to her. The post-credit scene of Season 1 teased Apocalypse visiting the aftermath of Genosha's destruction and putting his hand in the dirt to reveal a destroyed card in his hand, teasing that Apocalypse will bring back Gambit as one of his horsemen, being that of death. In addition, there will also be another team added to the mix of this season, which is that of X Factor, comprising of Havoc, Strong Guy, Polaris, Multiple Man, and even Wolfsbane. They were also teased back in Season 1 and from a lot of promotional art, and even in some of the leaked trailers for X-Men 97 Season 2, they will play a role in this season. Valerie Cooper is also present to be a part of this team as well. In addition to this, it has also been confirmed by Entertainment Weekly themselves that Marvel and Disney Plus intend to make new seasons of X-Men 97 on a yearly basis, with Season 3 and 4 underway. So it feels like there's no better time than now to be an X-Men fan, as they're slowly but surely have a return to form across all Marvel media. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, as this shows your support. Are you excited for X-Men 97 Season 2? Post your thoughts in the comment section below. Till then, take care and see you all on the next video.